Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she has overcome tremendous obstacles. Now she's dedicated her life to helping entrepreneurs up their game. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, there's an old saying, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. And my next guest knows this story very well. And now that's what she's doing with her life. She's helping entrepreneurs get up after suffering a setback. Sharontine Bottley is in the studio. She's with Portfolio Academy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, I want people to know your why, because you have not had a bowl of cherries for your life. You've had some setbacks.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Well, I'm Sharontine Bottley. I grew up in the South. Parents divorced when I was young, and my mother raised 4 children as a single mom. I was the eldest. And, you know, we were taught to get a great education and aspire to be great at whatever you did. But we were big dreamers back then, and I knew that there was something different about me because of where I came from. And growing up, you're thinking, okay, Lord, what do I do with what I have here? This is not what I want to see. And then you start working, building your life, and traveling, and doing those things that you think you should be doing. And life happens. I got married, and that marriage was successful for a few years. And then with both of us being high career-oriented people, we traveled with our businesses, and eventually the marriage crumbled. And at the time, my daughter was young, and it was dark, very dark. And I sought counseling and therapy, and I tried to save my marriage. And as I was struggling, I realized that I was not in the place or space that I could truly be me and nurture my child after this dark period that I'd gone through. So after I thought I got over that and gone on with my life, my daughter starts getting sick. And then I thought, the struggle is so real. I ended up selling our home, filing bankruptcy, and I thought, life is so dark, am I supposed to go back to this man? You know what I mean? Because it was like, I'm struggling out here even worse now. But I managed to pull up every day because I had my daughter to live for. And when she started getting sick, we didn't know what was going on with her. She was misdiagnosed, but ultimately ended up in having multiple brain surgeries. Fast forward, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but fast forward, she ended up studying neuroscience and pursuing the medical field. And I then, after an empty nester, had to figure out what was it that I wanted to do with my life, because it was very busy still as a business owner. However, I focused so much on me, and I prayed, what could I do with my purpose? Because I had such an array of ideas and so much experience behind me. I worked in the community with banks in certain delineated areas, building the community up, coaching, counseling, first-time home buyers, things of that nature. And I enjoyed doing that, working in real estate, building a career for myself. And I thought to myself, I want more, because I had more inside of me. Big dreams have to come to fruition, right? So I'm still living and enjoying life, and I thought, I'm doing good, but I'm not still where I want to be. And then my daughter's situation kept changing, because it was a journey with the brain surgery. They didn't all happen at one time. They were trying different medicines with her, and it was very stressful, but I managed to, by the grace of God, keep my head above water. And I surrounded myself with a community of women that could pray for me and with me. And I understood then that life is what you make it. Mm-hmm. Life is what you want it, but it still didn't click, right? So I'm building this business, and I'm working, going through life, and my daughter's in college. And all of a sudden I thought, I want to highlight my story to help others somehow, but how do I do it? And I kid you not, as long as I focused on me, I kept stumbling like this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. And I realized that those things that are darkest requires your attention in your life. So what is the darkest thing? What is it? And it was domestic violence. It was, financial woes. It was filing bankruptcy, all those things. And then the medical issues and insurance and millions of dollars in medical bills. And I kept smiling because I knew where I came from. I came from a group of women. My mother worked 3 jobs while I was in college. I never saw her give up. I never saw her quit. My great-grandmother never stopped. But they prayed for me, I know, because some of the things I don't understand started happening, right? And my purpose was not just around me, but it was to share, to help others. I was the light because I was experienced in darkness. And I realized that you can be in a tunnel, for example, and it's dark as ever, but there's a glimmer. I'm just a glimpse of light, and you are that it. You're that it. So with that light, I thought, what do I do with this, okay? So I said, there are successful women, aspiring women that have made it through, like myself. And how about we share and highlight them? So that's how I came up with Her Success Unleashed, because highlighting these women helped me to see the beauty for the masses, that we can just compile our knowledge, compile what we know, share our experiences, and help other people in some way. Even if it's 1 or 2 people, you've done your due diligence. You've done enough to say, I can share my experience. And before you are blessed. That is our wealth. Our wealth is our knowledge. The Bible speaks of our blessings are stored up in clay jars unless we pursue them and use them. God has given us these resources, so we're to use those resources. But finding them is the key.
And so your podcast hasn't launched yet. You're starting to tape the podcast.
Correct.
What's the name of the podcast again?
The name of the podcast is Her Success Unleashed.
That's amazing. And you're profiling some very successful women.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm so inspired by you because not only is she a successful podcaster, but she's a best-selling author. We're going to put her first book up on the screen. It's called Breakthrough. Tell us about Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. I'm going to try not to have tears here. Breakthrough was a compilation of stories that I journaled while I was going through that journey with my daughter. I wrote down my emotions because I had to show up for work every day. I would literally leave the hospital in ICU, go to work, come back to the hospital. The hospital was closer to me, to my job, than home was. So I started journaling my emotions and my feelings because I couldn't cry in front of my daughter. It was overwhelming, yes. But we all go through things in life, and we just have to find a space for them, that thing, whatever it is, and focus on that and seek to resolve that. But if you're a faithful prayer warrior, I was, and I wasn't seeing what I was praying for, right? However, I realized that tenacity and faith is what I had, and I couldn't lay it down. So it's what sustained me, my faith, sustained me in all of this. So during the face of adversity, I had to make decisions for the greater good, and I think that fast forward seeing now, it's a beautiful thing to have walked through and came through the storm, and that's what Breakthrough was all about. I broke through, and I was able to share that story because I journaled everything.
Wow. It's such a strong word. You used it again in your upcoming book, Breakthrough to Wealth. So we're going to put that on the screen. Tell us about this book.
Breakthrough to Wealth, oh my God, it's almost done. Breakthrough to Wealth is focusing on those resources that we have, not necessarily money. Wealth is whatever you define it as, you individual. And just like success, it's not what you think it is, it's what you believe it is. And there. So Breakthrough to Wealth is a compilation of how you can navigate through these resources that we have that we don't ever tap into.
Yes.
The resources of knowledge, experience, those things are valuable. That's your wealth. So I share that in this book.
And one of your keys to success is being grateful. No matter what your circumstances are, being grateful that God gave you another day on the planet. We're going to put up one other book cover. It's called The Book of Gratitude. And you wrote this book with a lot of co-authors. Tell us about the book.
Gratitude was a part of an anthology that I met with a group of leaders, and we met at Harvard last year and spoke at a leadership conference, and that book was launched there. And it's absolutely an honor and a privilege because gratitude, humility, forgiveness, all ingredients for us to find that place of balance. You know what I mean? Authentic, pure at heart. When you're there, you can align better, in my opinion, with where you're going in life on this journey. So that was an amazing experience, and to share that with other leaders and other people that have gone through so many things in life and decide to come together and share.
Wow. Well, I would suggest that one of your finest chapters is just beginning as a successful television and podcast host. So in the final minute or so, I want you to speak words of encouragement into the woman who's watching, who's struggling right now.
For the woman that's watching me right now, I'm going to use my voice to represent where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. And I would encourage her to seek what it is that she wants to do in life, pray about it, and join us. When I say join us, I mean it's an open community. We are supportive of one another, and I find joy and peace and lift up those that can come and gather and then go on to help someone else. I think I did a post last year that says, I give from my overflow, you give from your overflow, and then we're all blessed. And that's what I hope to achieve.
Wow, what a great way to end the show. We're going to leave everybody with her Instagram page. It's Sharontine Speaks. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your journey.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.